4 wins and ends up moving on. Do you think he'll have the usual uproar of joy, or will he just be a bit more focused?
He will have a tattoo on his forehead that says, "Bring it on, Luca."
That would be absolutely sick. Having the Fujitora Luca final, given the tiny bit of history between these two players.
Well, it wasn't even based on anything in particular. I think it was
No.
just a comment made in chat from Fuji started it off where Luca played badly in a game, according to Fuji. And then he sort of reiterated it on Twitter, and it snowballed a bit.
Yeah, Hearthstone players are very opinionated when it comes to criticizing other players. Proving my point. The glory, I think, of watching Hearthstone players debate about certain plays and whatnot is one of the most fun parts of Hearthstone, I think, is when they have different opinions and they really want to duke it out, and they'll say, you know what, I'll do best of 21.
And we've started seeing those matches now. You know, Fino hosts quite a few where the community votes on matchups that people can't agree on, and then they get two pros to play it out. Now, yeah, those have just been enlightening to the whole community. So you're right. And watching pro players who don't agree, like, there's often not a right or wrong that can be divined. There is a right or wrong, but it's so complex that you just have to actually work out the strategy and talk about why you're right or wrong. Because if you watch RDU and Orange disagree on something, like, what? How's that possible if there's an easy right or wrong answer?
Now, Fujitora here will be playing the mage in this matchup. We've seen this happen a little bit earlier. It comes down to the Death Knights on either side. Deathstalker, Rexar, Barnes pulling out a big Yasharaj early on can make all the difference. It does get answered in this case with Polymorph, even if it shows up. So the answers are there for both players. If Deathstalker Rexar is not found, Fujitora will win through sheer, value generation later on. But it's also, there's a clock on his health total as well. Right, this isn't as easy as it seems. Yeah,
I don't think it's easy at all. In fact, I used to think it was Hunter favoured. I've changed that opinion now. I think it is Mage favoured. But
depends on that tracking. If you play one tracking over two, that's a big difference. There are 2 trackings in Fuji's Hunter list. I'm not sure what ScreaM is running, but it tends to be the norm that you see 2 of each. And the Hunter is technically favoured insofar as the Mage doesn't get to his, long-term game plan.
He doesn't, and this is sort of the start of where things start to fight back.
Oh. Thinking of going for the Artificer Coin Meteor here for the 6 armor gain, which is amazing.
And this is the play we were talking about in the last game, where this actually just keeps the Artificer potentially on the board. There's a million ways to kill it, we know this, but you have to kill it. So it interferes with your opponent's plans just by virtue of the fact they have to kill it.
So he's going to hold on to the Meteor to make sure he can answer zombies, potentially coming out of Rexar. And that also, Leok doesn't matter, aside from kill command potential. And if he's starting to use kill commands this early to your face, then fine.
Yeah,
fine, just fine. That's acceptable.
Yeah, because you just heal that back up in some circumstances. You do have to save those for the win condition. And
none of these are going to be particularly useful. He was looking for either Barnes or the Deathstalker Rexar, but it does bring him a lot closer to them. As you dig through the deck, discard the things you won't need, it does bring you a step closer. And I like the setting up of Fujitora's, Dragon's Fury if he wants to, with the Doomsayer as a follow-up. We'll get a Flame Strike instead.
That was interesting. I thought Dragon's Fury Doomsayer allowed you to develop your Geist, but he just wanted to Flame Strike it away and save the more versatile card.
Yeah, well, it's also less mana. That's what Dragon's Fury is good for, is that it's more flexible as a result of not costing as much. So if you have the opportunity to sort of slow it down, maybe in some cases it's just better to do so.
Now the Geist.
It's a lot of damage being taken, though. There's no kill on that Misha. That's a lot of damage.
At some point, you have to trust your deck, I think, and say, I'm going to draw some of my good stuff very soon.
I think there was a sufficient amount of time for maybe another turn slowing down. I can see why he'd feel like he's in a rush.
Kill command. He's in a rush now.
The ice block's getting popped, and now suddenly the hero power is representing lethal every single turn. Fujitora opening up the ability for his opponent to completely shut him out. He's going to have another ice block, but he's relying on Jaina right now to stabilize him. He needs the Jaina, or he needs some form of healing with the Artificer. Those are possible out. They're there. They're in the deck. And he's got the mana count to do it. He's got the secrets to pull. He's got another ice block. So it's not as though there's no way for him to stabilize, but the amount of time
Yeah.
he's got, yeah, that's one card draw. That's all you've got.
Alex Raza, Jaina, nothing else, I don't think, that makes any sense. Yeah, the Artificer just doesn't even really do enough.
Yeah, he needs some form of stabilization right away. And again, as we spoke of, those aren't too numerous in the deck. Artificer is the play that would give him the most armor for the time being, barring Jaina.
Stonehill Defender needs to find something absurd.
Does anything heal? Yeah, I mean, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, get your Artificer, but then you can't play a spell anyway.
Wanted to see the top of the deck, and will realize it isn't a win condition, and that is going to give ScreaM a lead in the series as the Spell Hunter takes it.